One of the first shorts that I did was about a one-shot that I ran around about this time last year, which was set with the players being part of a circus troupe, part of Shaz's circus, because I struggle to name things. And it was a huge amount of fun, and it's also something that you can easily turn into a long-term campaign or even a West Marches style thing, and I did say this in the video, but I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into some of the aspects that are available with it because of why I think it is such a cool idea for a campaign. So in my one, I had the players first performing, which gave them all a chance to delve into the roleplay aspects of their characters a bit more, like why are their characters in the circus, what kind of performer are they, if they're a performer at all, are they winging it, are they committed to it, do they enjoy it, do they not, that kind of thing. The result was that one of my players was doing tarot reading, one of my players did like an acrobatics thing because he was a monk, one of my players did a stand-up comedy show, which they made me write in its entirety, and I entirely used terrible D&D puns, which was great, and I'm always happy to make an idiot of myself, clearly, I'm on YouTube, so, you know, yay. We then progressed into some PvP combat because a couple of the players were new and it was a nice chance for them to try out their abilities against each other. Rather than the aim being to win, the aim was to look theatrical and to be impressive because it was a performance, and this meant that they could do whatever they want and it would have no lasting effects on the characters, which means no damage and stuff in the long term. And it also meant that they all had a chance to try to think about how they would do things in a way that would appeal to the audience, which I think is really good for trying to encourage players to actually describe what it is that they're doing. From there, on their break, the player characters are outside of the tent and they hear a scream from the centre of the town, which they go to investigate. And they end up fighting a corrupt town mayor and some bandits, as you do, discovering that the denizens of the town have not been doing well. I can go into specific details about this stuff in a different video if that's something you're all interested in. I just try to keep these kind of things kind of freeform because creativity is a huge part of my enjoyment of D&D, and I assume that's the case for a lot of people. But they rescued the denizens of the town by defeating all the bad guys. Having rescued everyone, they came outside and discovered that there was a devil there. I really like using devils because they can be just wonderfully creepy. You have no way of knowing whether or not a devil is doing something for a greater purpose or just because they're bored. Much like Raphael in Baldur's Gate 3. And much like Raphael in Baldur's Gate 3, I also personified them as this kind of suave character. So they talked like this, welcome on in, how are you, that kind of thing. And it was a good opportunity to give them a hook at the end of the campaign. While that's where the one-shot ended for my group, I had a way of building that out where they'd have to go and rescue the rest of the town who were stuck in some mines, go into the mines, maybe find some myconids who've been infecting and taking over the humanoids there from the actual town itself, maybe discover the devil again, set up a big old conspiracy, eventually go to the Nine Hells, as you do. I was going to have Shaz, the troop leader of the circus, dragged down to hell as punishment or payment for something, and then the team could work their way into doing that in terms of like a long-term campaign. But if you wanted to do it more of a West Marches thing, you could just do it where every session they go to a new town, or they come across a problem along the way to the town, or it's just an RP session where they just get to roleplay and talk to the other people in the circus or the people in the town that they've just rescued, or nothing goes wrong and they just have a good time. It's one of those things. I think the circus troupe really fits that, and I think that you should try it. Also, if you want this kind of thing written up as like a mini adventure, I can do that, but I need to know that that's something that people would want before I put the effort into doing it, if that makes sense. Because for me, the idea is what gets me running and writing what I'm going to be doing with sessions, and I know that for other people that might not be the case. Yeah, does that make sense? Anyway, look, if you enjoyed this, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.